holding.
Nice bump over the top by Chrissy Sether. Scott rips it from behind the 10-foot line.
I really believe that Danielle Scott's back row attack might be the best in women's volleyball. You have to take behind the 3-meter, but look at how far she broad jumps, an aggressive, it looks like she's...
All hit long on Florida or Texas. Miscommunication in the back row that time. Mia Peterson thought she was going to get it, and so did Gabrielle Jobst, and neither got it.
I think this is quite a shock for Ohio State that they really can't side out with their left side attack when it's the best part of their game, but it just shows you the strength of Long Beach, not only with their blocking, but with their defense behind the block.
It was 5-5, it is now 10-5. McKenzie hits the antenna. Gym is not full, a little bit surprising. Thought they might get about 1,700, 1,800 here. There might be about 1,300. Of course, I think part of the reason, Kathy, is a lot of the Hawaii fans and certainly the Pacific fans have left.
Yes, and they brought a lot of people down with them.
John Dunning finished the press conference, turned to me and said, I think we'll go home. He just thought his team did not get rolling tonight. They just couldn't put it to number 2 seed, as you see Jim Stone, the coach of Ohio State. Pacific the 3 seed. So that match working as it was put on paper. Of course, Pacific came in ranked higher in the country.
I tell you, Burton is playing with so much confidence. Last year she was a little tentative in the NCAA semifinal game, but today she is really serving. Well, actually she serves out, but you can just see the confidence, and that's what's so great about a year of experience. You get so much stronger.
Sherry, 1,000 people there between faculty, students, and staff. That's bigger than Hilo, Kaneohe. I mean, a lot of Ohio State players winning all academic honors in the Mid-East. Like to see that, too. That ball hit wide. It was touched by an Ohio State player, though, so it goes back to the beach.
Looks like Sarah Daniel was...
10-6. Shawnee Hayes goes cross court. Good dig. Nice hit by Gabrielle Jobst again.
And Jobst really has a great arm swing. Notice how she tucks it, and then it's just like a windmill. It's really fast.
Exclamation point, Danielle Scott.
Well, she can hit in front, she can hit it back. It's hard to believe that you're going to stop the best player in the country with one blocker. I do not think so.
Nice hit by Ohio State. What I like about what Ohio State's doing is a lot of players moving around on the court. They really are hustling to just get in position, and I think 7-10. Burton is moved right into her body. Point to Ohio State.
I'm quite surprised she swung at that, John. It was so tight. You would think that she'd just try to tip that, use her athletic ability, but I think she thought she could wipe it off and just go high and flat, but into the block.
Scott, step out move, and hits the ground. But how many balls has she hit that no one's even gotten a touch on?
Great you as a player.
Outside, off the hands. And Ohio State wins the joust at the net. It's 8-10, and the Buckeyes staying alive. Kathy, you are one of the only 2 teams in Santa Barbara to beat Long Beach this year. How'd you do it?
I think it was a miracle. No.
Everybody that beat Long Beach State wasn't here. So the only losses were here. Burton is dug, but no one's up front to save it for the Buckeyes. I gotta wonder about the strategy. Jobst now has a...
Go with what got you here and hope that it'll kick in. And it appears that their rhythm really has gotten faster. And you notice Long Beach is not getting 2 blockers out now. They're holding the middle and opening up the outside.
Sophomore. And also one of the better blockers. Yeah.
Say some rosaries.
He turned to his wife, Mary, and he said, we're 1 away from going back to the Final Four. Hawaii's not been there since 1988. There's some of the Rainbow fans behind him. Right behind him with his arms folded, I believe that's Dave's father. There he is. Ace serve, it's 9-11.
Ohio State really is sticking to their game plan. They're going with aggressive serves. It looks like they're going to go cross-court, has been the most effective, trying to go to Burton right now.
In the middle, Danielle Scott off the net. Ooh. Oh, a lift is called. Net lift off the clean by Laura Davis.
I'm quite surprised. She didn't complain, but it looks like she got that with a clean poking.
I thought she just got an arm on it.
Yeah.
No argument. Allison Carpenter's had a rough week in practice with a bad knee. We'll see how she can play tonight. Serves a good deep ball. Ragliato this time goes off the high hands. 3 times in a row she can't put it down. Good dig by Ohio State. Nice play. Oh, 4 hits for Stragliato. Nice composure to keep it in play.
Well, they're really opening up the outside because they're digging so many balls and they're playing an all-around game. But the most important thing is you have to score on transition. Look at the hole. They're really hitting the hole in the block.
Back set, Scott, step out, move, forget it.
But it's very hard to defend that with her because she hits so short.
Overpassed. Knocked over by Stragliato. Remember, a player from East.
One setting error.
Still 9-11. Scott off the block. She winds up, gets up high, and just crushes it.
And she's really developed into a leader. At first, she wasn't very talkative, but notice after the play, they really have great chemistry, and she really has made the players around her even play better.
That ball hit long. Barry Leonard has written, tips one up, and there's a chance for the Buckeyes. Good dig, but it's going to go out into the crowd. But the only time Long Beach won't get a ball off a dig is when it goes up above the bleachers.
Well, the right side has been effective for Ohio State, and you've got to give them a lot of credit. They're playing down here in Long Beach against a great team, but they're hanging in there, showing they really have good all-around skills.
Ohio State number 3 in the country in kills per game. Long Beach number 7 coming in. Oh, miscommunication in the middle and not able to get it is Sherry Hellman. There was an opportunity.
Well, you can really see the difference if she was able to play.
Nice hit in the middle. A hard ball by Jobst.
Jobst is showing he had 31 kills.
That time she doesn't take her jump serve, Kathy.
Well,
so she got my suggestion, but still hits it into the net. Maybe that's just where her serves are going.
Maybe she's just not used to getting it over and standing on the ground.
Davis outside. Again, a ball hit hard by Leonard. Now Carrie Leonard will go back. Third best ace specialist on the team. Played back row at the beginning of this year because she had some knee problems, but those are all cleared up now.
Their offense is pretty good.
Good serve by Burton just over the net, and a good hit in the middle. So Hellman. Chrissy Sether, the only player left from the 1989 championship team.
She didn't even start last year. Alicia Mills was in that position, but look at the value of a left-hander that can hit a step out going her opposite way.
Hard for me to believe there's a better team athletically playing women's volleyball right now.
Teams like that have as good of athletes, and so sometimes they match up pretty well.
Another roof, and it's 14-9, and now 1 point away from ending game 2 after a game effort by the Buckeyes. Here's a chance for the 49ers. Who else? Scott, good night. 15-9. Long Beach State takes game 2. They have really been doing too much, so if we did not have, now it's in UCLA. Smallest player in the gym, Kim Davis, to serve.
Smart set to go to Danielle Scott. Laura Davis in the front row, and she just goes up and hits it off her hands.
You know, it's an amazing strategy to me that he has Michelle Jones play one play, and he does it for substitution purposes, yet he wastes his substitution by having to take her out right away.
But he won't have enough for Chrissy Sutter. That's what he told me. He has run out before, so she saves him at rotation. And a sub.
Very quick team. The winner to play Hawaii tomorrow night, and then another serving error by Ohio State.
And usually the setters don't make those kind of errors.
Not a setter who's third straight year All Big Ten. That time she hits it with more authority at a better angle and gets it back for the Buckeyes.
And really that 5 set has been the most effective for Ohio State because most of the blockers, look how they start inside and they elect to go with only one blocker.
Off the face that time in the back row. Not handled by Shawnee Hayes.
And Jobst is really doing a good job of isolating that 5 set. And if Long Beach does have a weakness, they don't dig as well cross-court as they do from the left side. And look, she gives her the Chester. She doesn't bend down and knocks her back.
Scott is roofed, a little bit too tight to the net. There's the block. And Ohio State is ahead 2-1.
And Ohio State decides to commit on Danielle with a 2-man block, a smart move, but she gets her hands way over the net.
Burton with a big leap, and the block is just split like a goalpost on that one, Kathy.
But if you decide to go with Danielle Scott, then you better get somebody out on Burton. This might be the best 1-2 combination in volleyball. Danielle going to the right and Burton exploding outside.
Well, that's what happens in the middle. Jill Daniels just can't get over in time. Mary Leonard.
And that's what they really have to do. Try to use the block of Long Beach. Delay a little bit.
Chrissy Sether into the game. Sets it outside to Burton. Off the hands. It's kept in play. Another good dig by Ohio State. Scrappy Ohio State. Another dig on Scott. Well, there's a dump by McKenzie. That could be costly. Great rally outside Burton. Another dig kept in play by a Buckeye. Put away.
And look at Ohio State. There are 3 players on the ground. You got to be in shape if you play women's volleyball. The tremendous rallies, you have to attack, jump at the net constantly. Look at though how the ball is passed right to McKenzie. She has so many.
Good dig by Schwerm. And Burton puts it away. How many times have we seen that back in Hawaii where you think that the ball is going to hit the floor, maybe it will relax for a 1/10 of a second, and the beach pops it right back up.
What's amazing is it's about 2 inches from the ground, and they're able to get there.
Missed in the middle.
Effective.
Ball hit wide. It's 5-2, Long Beach. Big hit by Jobst.
They just cannot stop Jobst because they're really not committing on her. I do believe you'll have to go with 2 blockers on her. A good approach. Look at how high she gets. A good form and hits away from the defensive player.
Gets her a good serve, and McKenzie has to jump over to get there. She got a piece of it to the net, and it's knocked down, and over the net is called.
They're having to show some cardio out here.
Well, Kathy, when you beat Long Beach and you were making the good digs, were they hitting a lot of unforced errors too?
Well, actually, Danielle Scott was hitting some rockets, and we just happened to be in position to dig.
Ohio State back in. Another overpass. Saved by McKenzie and drilled by Tracy Dahl.
Well, Tracy Dahl hits that ball like she's on a pogo stick. She just jumps straight up. First of all, a great save to save it. Look at how tight that is, but just the arm perfectly extended, perfect form.
You know, it reminds me, Tracy Dahl this year reminds me of what happened to Alicia Mills. Her freshman year, she came in once in a while.
Tight to the net.
A serve in front of Burton.
So Ohio State,
they tie it up.
And really, we said aggressive serve was going to change the game. And look at how the ball just drops. British Sherm backs out of the way. Burton tries to go forward, but that is really a tremendous serve.
Obviously, Burton does pass every ball, and that's why she usually does that. Good pass, but a block. Oh, that time a lift is called. or actually touching the net, stepping under was Chrissy Sether.
So you've got to pass it off the net.
Their total match, check this out, they've won 88 games, Kathy, and they've lost 8 games all year.
I believe it.
Let's put that in perspective.
On the left side, defensive player British Shern backed out too soon. A nice little roll shot off the back row attack by Ohio State.
Long Beach State has beaten Notre Dame, Colorado, and of course Pacific and Hawaii twice, along with Santa Barbara once, and Arizona State. So, to their credit, they've sometimes been accused of not playing a tough non-conference schedule. This year they did play a much better schedule. So McKenzie goes to Scott. He's roofed.
And Sarah Daniel yells over at Danielle Scott. I don't think Danielle Scott is used to that, but I guess if I could block the best player in the country, I might yell too. They depend upon her going outside, which shows her versatility, but a good block, they go straight up and just reach over.
Schwerm is dug in the back, net violation called. Off the block, back over to Ohio State. Sarah Daniels starting to have the game of the night, so coach, I guess you would say.
I'd say intense is a better word.
I would suggest that there's a match with you and Brian Gimolero.
And this is the serve that's effective because they really don't get a good forward movement.
Danielle Scott does not get a clean swing at this ball. Ohio State trying to get into double figures. Was it touched? It was not. It's hit wide.
A little bit of a tight set by Laura Davis. And that
I think they now feel that they can at least compete. They can make a couple of big plays. Unrat trying to tie things up for the 49ers. Nice play. Ohio State had people jumping all over. It looked like one of those people. Off of Burton, it's 10-8.
I think the big key is now Ohio State. Well, we've seen him call his first time out.
Burton with a big jump goes cross. Nice hit in the middle that time by Sherry Hellman.
Sherry Hellman is starting to set her more, and as a result, it's
out of bounds.
And Miss Davis really is showing why she's such a great leader and a great quarterback. She's really mixing it up.
3 years all Big Ten, Laura Davis. Schwerm off the block. Yelling for the ball. Good job by relax just enough to throw yourself up. Shank. They go right at Jobst.
That ball really drops. Look at it. Oh, she missed again.
Played a lot of soccer, which obviously helped her foot speed. Miss hit by the Long Beach State back row. Schwerm misses 11. And Verbal long. Hayes.
It appears.
Michelle Burton better pass that time. Scott just bumps it over. Here's a free ball. Off of Scott and down. It's 12-10 Ohio State.
Smart strategy.
Overpass, free ball. Oh, and won by McKenzie. That could be the best and most important. Good quick set on the outside. And now it's back to the Buckeyes. You thought earlier in the third game that Long Beach might be having a little letdown. You'd think by now they would have picked it back up. And if they have, Ohio State has got right back in their face. Not a good pass, but Danielle Scott with a big ball. It's blocked, or dug rather. Burton goes over the block, too. Danielle Scott kind of off-timed on her attempted dig, and Ohio State gets a big side out back.
But Ohio State is playing without fear. That's the most important thing, and I really do believe what you said, John. They believe that they can compete, and I think
she was the freshman of the year in the Big Ten last year. And she is not.
Hellman in the front row. They might have to go back row attack here.
Good dig by Scott. Gets all 6'2" on that. Burton. What an athletic hit by Nichelle Burton. She couldn't get a swing on it, and she turns it inside the court. Nobody home.
Well, when you have what we call hang time, where you can hang in the air.
And what they had to do, they have no more timeouts left, and they now trail by a 12-13 score, and the crowd's starting to get on Jobst. They expect the jump serve Kathy, you think this is maybe a time where she's just got to serve it in?
I think this one's going to go in. I have a feeling.
That you would take that chance.
I just can't believe that the coach is calling it. I think that the coach has to call it, and he must have confidence, but she's missing it.
She's missing
quite
too many. Long Beach State still needs 2. Good hit by Nichelle Burton.
Well, especially when she's got to hit back row, she has to do everything. You think they'd rest her.
Overpass by Schwarm, free ball, they get this one. 13-13.
Well, this is what we call the time where separate.
Past 5 years, Ohio State says not yet. Another questionable pass. And here's a chance for the Buckeyes to take the lead. Back set, it's a beauty behind the 10-foot line, and it's 14-13.
Well, Jopes may have missed a lot of serves, but she is hammering out of the back row, and she is the key to this victory.
That was a great hit because 3 Ohio State front row players looked like they were going for it, but instead it goes back row. Now, can they end it? Danielle Scott. It's dug by the Buckeyes. They have a chance on this hit. Burton, nice play to keep it alive. McKenzie knocks it out and over. Ohio
like there's to no tomorrow. Now look at their back row. Jopes is just eating them up alive out of the back row.
6-2 Ohio State leads in game 4. Outside Burton, exclamation point. No block went up that time.
Well, that time they didn't commit on Burton. They tried to go one-on-one, and they really need both their outside hitters to really pick it up. You can't depend just on Danielle Scott.
Back set Jopes over the top. Kept alive beautifully. Danielle Scott. How about an All-American dig that goes over the net for the point?
Well, it just shows you that she wants to be an all-around player, and then she'll sacrifice. Look at her wiping up the floor. She says, I'm going to have to dive like that. I better not get hurt.
Remember, after we are done here, we will head right back over to Blaisdell Arena where they're getting underway. The Tip-Off Classic, Hawaii against Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri. Question is, who will Hawaii play? We would have thought about 20 minutes ago it would have been Long Beach State, but now Ohio State saying not yet. Jokes, great dig by McKenzie. And Scott pops it over. Chance for the Buckeyes. Nice reverse dump. Oh, Laura Davis right off the hands of Schwarm.
Well,
she is very smart.
Well, what's so smart about it, she doesn't go too early. The secret is...
You can see why. That's a heads-up play. Overpass. Chance for the Buckeyes. Off the touch. It is 7-3. You thought it might be a lift, huh?
Well, I think that now Brian is starting to yell. He's never had to yell about calls right now. But the offense of Ohio State, I just cannot believe how they picked up this rhythm.
Speech about the lift, or the potential for a lift. Dug by Ohio State, but they can't get there. Back over to the 49ers.
Well, you know, Long Beach hasn't been in this situation in 13 games, so it's really, I think, might help them if they do, in fact, win this for the next game, because sometimes you get things easy, and now they're really pushed to the limit, and we'll see now sort of the mental part of the game. Before, they just used the physical to dominate players.
Well, and if you're Hawaii, who some of them still sitting around watching, Dave showed you right behind the server right now watching, you like to see this team extended a little bit.
You like to see them drop dead is what you'd like to see.
After you're right, I think you'd like to see him extended right out of the tournament.
That's right.
It's a long way from Ohio State winning this one, as now it's 4-7. Doug over Burton. Burton tried to pop it up, but can't keep it under control. Long Beach's errors now coming more frequently.
Well, I just think it's because the tempo is so fast on Ohio State's team that Long Beach is starting to make the errors.
Up at the net, Danielle Scott, get out of the way.
I think Carrie Leonard said, I think that's the one where you back up and try to put your hands up and cover for shelter. Look out.
Jeez, look out for shrapnel out of that thing. Carrie Leonard got that one, not where she wanted it. In the middle, interesting move.
Well, Jobs, I don't know how many kills is that she's had. Can you have any doubt? It's got to be double figures. I must say that's probably her 26. But look at, she takes it with a trouble set. It's very tight, but look at how she delays a great tip.
Brian Gimelero not happy about that. He thought it might have been a back row player coming up. Not sure, but he was arguing. Now now he sits back down for the moment. There's a dump, but there's Davis with a good dig. Dug over the net, free ball for Swerm. That's a little bit too much by little Kim Davis.
She made a great dig to get it up, but she dug it over the net. Look at her just scoot up there, but she scoots it right over to Britta Sherm.
I want to say a special hello to the Hawaii players redshirted this year. Wendy Park, Cassidy Nobriga, and Jenny Wilton, who sent some nice notes and things to their teammates. Of course, they were there all year helping out in practices and things. And a touch up front for Long Beach State.
This will send Brian over the edge.
Valero says who?
Look at Brian, he's about ready to.
He says who? He just wants to know who. And now the Long Beach State team asking the linesmen. See, this is what seems to happen sometimes with Long Beach State, where they get that reputation, they start complaining.
You're very right, John. It's correct.
And it's a direct reflection when Brian Gimolero starts getting into it, his team does. And there's a bad pass, and it's 8-4. And what happens after the arguing?
Yes, it's
They
so
make
much
a
pressure.
bad play.
You start to focus on that instead of playing, and you have to earn things yourself.
But they are such a good team, they normally bounce back from those errors pretty quickly. Up front, Shell Burton nails one down the line. It's out. It's 9-4 Ohio State. Could this really be happening? Much better serving this game in terms of just keeping it in. Danielle Scott, I think she hit that a negative angle across the court.
Well, it's a good thing that she's hitting because it's taking some pressure off the outside.
9-4. Out on the serve from Long Beach.
Ohio State saying they are for real.
Michelle Burton off the block, and Ohio State good dive by Carrie Leonard. She cannot get there in time.
Well, I think that Long Beach serving really has to pick up. Before, Ohio State was passing off position. Now, Ohio State.
Good passing up. And an easy kill. Complete weekend of sports. Doubleheader volleyball tonight. Of course, basketball to follow. Then tomorrow we'll have volleyball and basketball. And on Sunday afternoon, Hawaii Winter League Baseball. The Sharks against the Emeralds. Join Jim Leahy and Pal Eldridge live Sunday at 2 o'clock. Fox 13, the best in sports. Long Beach State tweaking it up front. If you're Long Beach State now, Kathy, and you're the coach, you just want your team to take a deep breath, relax, just play your game, which you've done all year long. It's pretty methodical because you know how good you can be.
Exactly. You can't let the pressure get to you, but I think the serving is the key. Ohio State is passing the ball perfectly on position. They've got to force them to back up. Look at these. These are picture-perfect passes.
Kept in play by Perkins. Swerm, a nice hit. 5-9.
And that's a better set. Bring the ball a little.
Net on the serve by Perkins.
I have really never seen Long Beach with this many serving errors.
Danielle Scott takes the ball at the top of the net and hits it straight down. Straight down.
Well, she's going to have to do it. If she looks at the scoreboard and says it's 9-5, and there's only one chance of getting the ball.
Oh, a great bump set. And blocked up front. In the middle coming through, Stragliotto.
And the combination plays are, that's what we call an X-play. The middle hitter goes in front, and the right side crosses.
Danielle Scott hangs in the air and drills it. Scott left, Scott right, Scott middle.
Scott everywhere.
Lift called on Davis. And Davis is saying that the ball was touched by the Long Beach blocker coming over the net. He's not happy about that call by Leslie Allward, our referee. Terrible pass. Free ball. That time over the net was Michelle Burton. And you gotta wonder if Davis is questioning the last time didn't influence the referee. That one, she was pretty blatant.
We get a chance to see, and does she reach over?
Ohio State needs points, though. Off the block. There's a bad play. It's 9-9, so Ohio State's starting to unravel
Well, they didn't side out the last 2 times outside, so they tried to pump the middle, but she really didn't have an approach. I think they're going to have to go back row to Jobst here.
Wipe the floor a little bit. Davis confidently talking. Sherry Hellman, the freshman, encouraging her, tell her where she wants her to go. Great dig in the back row, and no one goes for the ball.
That's...
Long Beach
Look at how they yell at each other. Well, I think no one turn. If you dig a ball, you're supposed to turn off.
It's knocked out, and Ohio State's the first to 10. It's 10-9. Overpassed again, and it costs Ohio State. McKenzie couldn't get it up there. Or she did get it up, but it was too far for Michelle Burton and for Dahl.
I think it was right in between.
Over Dahl, under Burton, 11-9. Jobst serving in 3 in a row. Not a good pass again, but this time Burton's there. Jobst pops it up. It goes out. It's 12-9 Ohio State. Long Beach State just can't get some passes going.
Look at Long Beach.
And there is Jobst. I think it's 9 errors, but to her credit, she got 3 good serves to give her team the lead.
9 errors, but probably 25 kills. So if you subtract that, they're still pretty good stats.
McKenzie goes down the line. Good pass for the Buckeyes. In, outside of the block, over the back row and in. It's 12-9.
Long Beach cannot serve the ball. I've never seen such cupcakes.
Well, again, when you get a little bit nervous,
I know,
you just want to make sure you get it in.
I just haven't seen Long Beach get that nervous.
12-9, good serve. It's a tough play for Schwarm. It's going to be a free ball. See what they do on the offense. Stragliato goes wide.
That was a big point.
Well, she's had a couple, and she has not hit many balls here in game 4.
That's her favorite play, when they like to bring her inside, but she cut that back.
9-12. Now she gets a good pass, so she comes right back and gets a kill. No, it gets off her own back.
I think that's a tough set. She passed the ball all the way in the middle of the court. They swung her. You've got to give her a little bit higher set on that play.
Yeah, if she's going to run up on that, she needs more room to run. 10-12. See if they use her again. No, they go short set in the middle. Easy roof for Tracy Dahl. So quickly, Laura Davis with a couple of perhaps questionable sets.
Well, Long Beach has picking up the ball.
And a shank pass is kept in play. But it's a free ball. Oh, a bad pass that time, and another bad pass.
Oh.
And a mistake on the Ohio State side. So some shoddy play on both sides, and we are tied at 12.
And actually, that shows you that's a front court ball. Sometimes they don't want to back up. Look at that number. Stragliato doesn't back.
Tied at 12. Burton with the serve and a good pass. Good dig by Scott. Crowd thought it was a lift. Another good dig in the back. A bump set by the big freshman, Hellman. It's still in play. Oh, a great diving dig by Danielle Scott. Good pass all the way across. Just phenomenal defense by the 49ers. I think 12-9. They've now taken the lead. There's that roof. No, over the net is called. Oh, back row attacking over the front line. 14-12, the crowd on its feet. The mistake Jobst made was she stepped over that 10-foot line when she swung. So mistakes by Ohio State and a good effort in the end by Long Beach State. It's over.